At First Rounds on Me, we believe that one real date is better than 100 pen pals. With our mobile dating app, we make it fun and easy for you to meet someone in person for a real date. See someone you're interested in? We help plan your date. Pick a drink, a time, a venue, and send that person a date invite. It's that simple. You only get one confirmed date per day. Give your full attention to one person at a time so you can actually get to know each other in person. Our key differentiators allow you to focus on what's most important: dating with intention and connecting with someone in person. Once your date is confirmed, you only get 12 hours to chat before your date starts. If you're tired of the endless small talk with pen pals on other dating apps, First Rounds on Me is for you.
Welcome back to Crowdsourcing Love. I'm your host, Marin. Today I have Brandon Berman on. Hi, Brandon.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing, Marin? Thanks for having me here.
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well today. I'm happy.
I'm
Today.
happy. Today
Yeah.
you're happy.
Yeah, good day. Yeah.
Yesterday was a bad day.
No, it was good. Yesterday was good. No, today though it's like rain. I like when it rains out. So
It's cozy. It's like fall. It's like finally getting cooler.
yeah, it's good. Yeah, it wasn't too hot today.
I know, thank God. So Brandon is the star of UpDating. He's a comedian, a producer, all sorts of things. But I would love for you to introduce yourself. Who are you?
Yeah, I host updating, creator. That's like my baby, my job. From Long Island. I'm 29 years old. And yeah, I'm a comedian. And like think I'm a nice guy.
I think you're nice. I think
Yeah,
you're pretty funny.
yeah. No, I try. I try. That's kind of like
Yeah.
yeah.
Would you say you're pretty edgy as a comedian?
Yeah, I would say updating is definitely like I would say updating is my friend always what is he? It's disruptive.
It is
Yeah,
disruptive.
I would say that's the best way to put it. I don't force that stuff though. I just
No.
like honest stuff, and that's
You
kind
just
of
react to it.
yeah, exactly.
And you ask good questions.
Yeah, ask. I like, and I would say I'm an enforcer of honesty. That's kind of like how I
Ooh,
describe what I do with updating.
totally.
Yeah,
You're just observing and reacting.
observing, reacting, and steering things into a fun direction. I like fun.
Yeah. So when it comes to your stand up before the show, what kind of inspired that? Is that like about dating or is it about something just completely different?
It started out when we first started updating was over 5 years ago. It was mainly like a warm up, get the crowd engaged, and I would do random I used to write an act around, like, dating and then
Hmm.
also random stuff in it, but it kind of evolved over time. On the road, I'll do a much more specific type of act. New
Yeah.
York, it's like I just try to make sure everyone there is, like, happy, like,
Loosey goosey.
they're okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
here we do it more frequently, so people, it's, I want, like it's a different type of vibe. I just wanna make sure everyone, like I know people have hard days at work
Hmm.
here.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll play more I just play to, like, wherever it is, and then I
I
have,
like
like
it.
yeah, it's like
Hmm.
I have written jokes, but then I'm an improvisational performer, so I
Yep.
just do that in between, like and, I kind of adjust to wherever I am.
That's really cool. Do you ever get nervous?
Yeah, yeah,
You do?
yeah, every time. I don't
How do
ever
you deal
not
with your nerves?
it doesn't that's actually a really it's a good question. I've honestly just learned to like you have to learn to love it.
Okay.
The worst mentality I've learned that to have, like
Hmm.
the thing that equals a disaster is if you're thinking about when it's going to be done and you're excited for that.
Oh,
Whenever
okay.
I've done that, like when we've done rooms that are like maybe more intimidating,
Yep.
I used to be like it'll be done, and then you go out there and you're literally really like
You're like shaking.
you're nervous.
Yeah.
But if you go on, I have this mental thing I do before, like focus on things that will make you laugh no matter what. And
Okay.
it's almost like an internal chemical I try to like hit off. And like if I go out there and like if
Hmm.
I just have to have fun. If I have fun, it will always
It'll
succeed.
be good. It's almost like a flow state where you just like want to be in it.
Exactly. But it
Hmm.
takes time. I'm still not I can't wait till I'm at a point where I no matter what, every time
Yep.
we have a show, I have that. I'm at a point now where I would say like 60, 70 on the road 100% of the time
Yeah.
because you're like, oh, I don't that anonymous. I don't know anyone here. It's like this
Hmm.
very I have this thing, yeah, if there's like I'll get in my head at certain shows, but I'm getting really great. Like
Hmm.
I think within like a year, maybe I'll be at a point where like almost every time.
But it really is repetition. I think you're like building a muscle and a skill set. One second, Archie. Come here. Archie. No. He's barking at his reflection over there.
I love it.
Yeah.
Archie's a cute.
He's part of the show, but
He's amazing.
I feel like honestly, it's almost like dating too. I think so many people are so nervous about dating.
So good. And honestly, it's a
Mhm.
similar feeling. Like before, you're
Mhm.
like, I used to freak out before
Your dates.
dates.
Really?
I get so nervous. I do.
You seem so confident. I'm shocked.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm like a pretty nervous person with
Okay.
most things. Like I've gotten way better. Like my anxiety has definitely. I used to be a really, really like
Okay.
anxious person.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
I still
now
am.
but like with dating, you got over time, you just like got less and less anxious, or
That never got with dating actually similar to
Mhm.
performing. That
Yeah.
it's the kind of I have a girlfriend now, but when I like before her, I would go on spurts where I would date a lot and like it would just get worse. I'd be like, this is just only getting harder.
Really?
Once you don't care, once you let
Mhm.
go and say no matter what, like
Yeah.
I'm good, this doesn't matter, and like you trigger that thing in your head that calms you down, like it
Yeah.
gets you're suddenly it's fine. It's the same, it's not
It's
that
the
much
same
different.
thing. It's like I just want to have fun. Like have that be the intention.
Exactly. I actually think dating for me is was much harder than
Then
performing.
comedy. Than
Yes.
performing.
Yes,
That's so crazy.
I would get very nervous.
Is it because as a man you have to be more of like the host, and so there's like more of like that pressure on you?
I would just get there and like I'd be speaking, but while I'm speaking, I'm like, does this person? I care more about like I hope they like me as a person.
Mm.
So I'm thinking the whole time like they're analyzing me. Like
Oh really?
I hope they like, oh, I just said that, they think I'm an idiot. Now I'm
Yeah.
uncomfortable. Like it's yeah, like it was yeah.
That's interesting. Not trying to be creepy, but I actually met this girl who told me that she went on one date with you. And she was like, he is such a riot. He's so cool. She spoke very highly of you.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, like what a baller. Go, Brandon.
Oh wow. I wonder who
Yeah.
I wonder who it is. I hope they had fun. Like
I
I don't
think she did.
Yeah, I'm weird. Like I think of it like I hope they leave tonight thinking like they had fun. Like I don't
Yep.
wanna, yeah. And I just would go, yeah, like into like then I'd be like, oh, they don't, this person doesn't, I don't know what they wonder who that person was, by the way.
Yeah, maybe I'll tell you, maybe I won't.
I'm kind of
But
curious.
but what I'm trying to say is like I think it's interesting because I think both sides of the table are in their heads. The guy's in his head, the girl's in her head. Everyone's in their fucking heads. Relax,
Everyone.
it's fine.
Everyone's in their
Mhm.
head.
Yep.
Everyone, and with that stuff, I did get to a point where I stopped
Mhm.
I didn't care. I'm like, oh, like
You're just like whatever.
whatever, and that's
So when it came to your girlfriend,
yeah.
like when did you know that she was gonna be your long-term relationship? I don't want to say the one because you guys are just dating, but like I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna like infringe upon your privacy.
Yeah, no.
But how did you know that you wanted to girlfriend her up?
By the end of the first date,
Really?
I knew.
How'd you know?
I just felt like because well, speaking of like uncomfortableness, the
Yeah.
date started off like kind of like not. It was like
A little rocky?
It was like I'm like, oh yeah, I had like I don't know, I remember that date. I set like an expectation for myself, which I again I had stopped doing that.
Yeah.
But that particular one, I'm like, ah, here we go again. I'm in my head.
Yeah.
But I felt so it was so like weird in the beginning, but then I felt like uniquely comfortable.
Okay.
And like there was just like a vibe. I'm like
There
this
was a comfortability.
and that thing where you're just like, I
Mhm.
don't know why, but like this girl's like it's also humor. I think I was like laughing. I'm like, this is a funny thing.
That's always a good sign for me when I'm on a date and I'm laughing. That's a go.
It's a go.
It's a
Yeah.
go. Like if I've been on so many dates where I can tell the guy's really, really into me and I'm staring at him and I'm like, he's cute, like check, check, check. Like all the boxes are checking, but I'm not laughing. And
It,
it's a problem.
you gotta laugh.
You have to laugh.
It's funny if you don't need the
Mhm.
same humor as someone either. Like there's
Yeah, no, not at all.
I use the word chemical a lot. Like there's
Mhm.
there's a certain chemistry you have
Yep.
with certain people. It's no same with like my friends.
Totally.
You're like and Mel is the same. Like I have the same humor. Like it's like oh it's like
Mhm.
fits into your friends. Like
Yep.
it's the same energy that works with them that will work with a partner. Like where you're just, like, laughing.
1000%.
Yeah.
And you can have proximity to somebody, like you can have the same job as them, see them every day for years and years and years, and you're never going to be more than just an acquaintance.
Mm,
And then you can meet somebody and have one deep, long conversation, and you're like, oh my God, here we are.
exactly.
It's crazy.
It is weird. It's a weird
It's
thing.
really tricky.
It's psychological.
It's chemical. We talked about this.
Yeah.
Like the pheromones. We're both big pheromones people.
Huge on that. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, yeah.
you lean over to the date. You're like, oh, the smell is good. Like
Yeah, you're like, okay, check. That's
Yeah.
a big one though. It's the biggest one.
It's huge. I
Yeah.
agree. It's number one.
Yeah.
It is number one.
But it's weird because there's people who now sell synthetic pheromones to try to, they're like,
Oh, really?
yeah,
It's
but like
just
to me, I'm like, that's like a little dumb because don't you want to attract somebody based upon your pheromones, not these synthetic ones?
but you can't put once you're I don't know if those last permanently, but
Yeah.
those, if you're with them randomly like a morning after a shower, it's their
Yeah.
natural
That's when you
smell.
get the real scent.
Yeah, that's when it comes down. That's when the scent is legit.
This is disgusting, but like one thing I found is like I know when I really like a guy is if I like his morning breath.
That's a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
That's
Kind of disgusting, but if I like his like next morning breath, I'm like, okay, we're good.
You know what's funny? That's probably true.
Mhm.
That's like a good point. Like if you like someone like the most thing that's like that's the most of that's like the most
Like lowest, like
the
grossest,
lowest.
disgusting moment
I
of the
agree.
day.
No, breath is like something that could just change everything about
Everything.
someone.
Yeah.
I agree. I know.
Mhm.
Yeah. I never thought about that, but you're making some points.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, okay, so you met your girlfriend. First date, you knew that she was like, okay, this is probably someone I want to actually like
Yeah.
pursue seriously. What was your timeline after that?
It was honestly our timeline was awesome because we would go on a date like once a week
Which is good.
for like a month. She was busy, I was busy, and she lived in Hoboken, I was like over here, like so it was,
Okay.
and it was cool. Like we'd have a date, but by the end of each date, I would say, hey, like what's the next one?
Yes. And I tell my clients that because now I do dating coaching. Everyone gets
Yeah.
freaked out when I say clients now. Like I'm a doctor, I'm not
No,
a doctor.
that's cool.
But I always say, like, you should know within 24 hours if you're going on the next date or not.
And I got to a point too. I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, if she says no now, like, like
Yeah.
it just like you walk out going, oh, and that, but it was good because then I didn't feel you're not angry. Then you're calmer. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
I was into this person. They agree. But yeah, we were like once a week for like a month. But then
Okay.
it was just once, I think like date 5. Then it was like, all right, every
There was
day.
a tipping point.
There was a tipping point, but it was
Okay.
great. The tipping point came slow, but then that came like really quick.
So,
Which was
how
cool.
soon did you ask her to be your girlfriend?
Ooh, probably like a month in.
A month
Or
in.
not maybe even like 2. I'm one of those people
You're
that's like
romantic too. You and Harrison are both
Ye
romantic.
yeah, well, I'm romantic, but I'm also like I have there's something in my brain that I
Mhm.
can't control where if I like feel something, I just
Yeah.
say it.
You're impulsive.
I'm very impulsive.
Okay.
And yeah, I think probably like yeah, I think it was maybe even was it a month? It was a month in.
Was it a week? I feel like you're trying to say a week.
No, I'm trying. It was between 2 weeks and like a month in that
Okay.
span.
And you said, will you be my girlfriend?
Yeah, and I don't and right away she was like, "Not yet," and I was like
Oh,
really
she said
upset.
that?
Yeah, yeah,
She said not yet.
yeah. She's like, "This is like really like quick." Like I'm like, "Oh well, I feel that way." And then I just like,
That's so crazy. Wait,
yeah.
I kind of like that. And then did that make you like her more? Because you're like, oh shit, I need to lock this down.
I don't know. It honestly no, it didn't
Okay.
have any. It was so like just unconscious what I was doing.
Yeah.
I would just like because we were still hanging out like constantly. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, if I'm around her, I'm happy." But like I would
Let's
like.
progress the
I was
relationship.
like, "Let's make this official."
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
Like, let's go.
Yeah, I'm more of the I'm like
Okay.
like that's me in our thing. I'm much more like
You're driving.
and she's really chill and like like calm down. I'm like, no, like let's like do this. Like
So you guys have a good dynamic.
yes, exactly.
Like you're very like even together.
Very even.
Mhm.
Very even. Opposites in that regard.
So how long have you guys been together now?
Over 2 years.
Okay, so how has it been? Because like she kind of met you before you guys fully popped off.
Yeah.
And has that kind of been interesting for your dynamic? Because I saw her at your show. So cute, having a glass of wine, having dinner, supportive. Like, she
That's a
seems like she's just like a chill, fun girl and she's like along for the ride.
she does not like care. Like she's
Mm,
very like
yeah.
knows what or yeah, there's no well, she also in my head, what's funny is we were doing updating a year and a half before
Okay.
the pandemic, just
Yeah.
in New York.
Okay.
I think at that time, like in my head, it was way bigger than
It was
it
now.
was. And I almost thought it was bigger then than I actually feel it is now. I feel like it's actually small. Like I had
So funny.
a weird mental thing. So in
Yeah.
my head, I was way further along.
Mm.
And then the pandemic happened, and we were all we didn't do the show for a year, and then I was. And I met her literally. We came back April of 2021. I met her like I think a couple weeks, yeah, maybe May, like end of May.
How'd you guys meet?
Through it's a cool story actually. I moved into like a new apartment that April, and like my neighbor's a super nice
Mm.
girl. And she had a boyfriend. But I was friendly with her, and like I like She was like showing me her apartment one day, and like I was
Mhm.
like in her room, and like I saw like a picture on the wall, and I was like, "Who's that one in the?"
What?
Yeah, yeah. So that was
That's so cute. So you saw a picture of her.
yeah. Saw a picture of her, and I just said that I don't even think I wasn't like, oh, set me up. That was it. Like I saw that photo, and then like like a week later, I was on like a plane, like I landed, and like I got like
Mhm.
this text message from my neighbor, and she was like, "Hey, like my friend Mel's like interested in you. Like
Oh
she's
my
interested in going."
god.
And she honestly, I don't think was like this girl was just like, "Hey, you should go out with this
She's
guy."
just like an instigator. I love it.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
she was that excited to go out with me, but I was like, "Oh, like I'm gonna," and I think I played it cool. I was like, "Oh, like which one was that? Like the girl you saw in the photo." And yeah, I then texted her, and we went on it. It was like, yeah, I saw in her photo, and then I saw her in person,
Mhm.
and yeah, it was that was how we met.
That is the cutest story I've ever
It's
heard.
cool. It's all good.
It's
It's
a really
organic.
it's so organic.
Yeah, you're
Like
not
what
gonna.
are the odds of it?
The odds are not. They're not high. Well,
They're not great.
like I said though, I
Yeah.
speak out. Like I don't always. I'm kind of unfiltered in certain
Which
ways.
is in your favor.
In that regard, that was one
Yeah.
of those where I'm like, wow, if I just didn't say anything that day, I don't think this girl would have. I don't know if I don't think we would. She would have set us up.
You don't think you would have crossed paths though? Because she was a mutual friend.
No, because this girl only ended up living next door to me for a month.
Oh, that's weird.
So I don't think so. Cause she was moving, this girl, and like we were friendly in that time, but I don't know. She would have moved. Like I don't think she was like,
Okay.
oh, I want to set my friend
Up with this
Mel up.
guy. Yeah.
Maybe, but no, and we wouldn't have crossed paths, Mel and
Mm.
me, because she was living in Hobo. She's low key, like she's at not. She likes to keep to herself. Like
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe we would have. I don't think. I never think about that. But yeah, so we then met, and updating just came
Mhm.
back, and like it, like yeah, she's the, and also it has a lot to do with, I think, at least on my end. I
Oh, okay.
can't speak for Harrison, but
Yeah.
help. Like she's like really supportive, and she's really smart.
Okay.
Like she was like, you got to start putting these on TikTok, and
Oh,
like
so she was helping you guys.
like no, it wasn't doing
Or
anything.
like strategizing.
No, yeah, her strategy was like, "Hey, like you got to start putting your content on TikTok."
Oh,
And
that's
like
good.
and yeah, and I would like show her like, "Hey, is this like a cool clip?" And she'd be like,
Mhm.
"This is not. Like this was cooler." And then I would
Oh,
and that
I
was
love that. Like power couple.
yeah, but not like like she's very not like she's so low key.
Mhm.
Like but and I always asked her. She never
Yeah.
gives solicited. But
Mm.
I was like, but I noticed I was just like doing that too. I'm like, wow, I feel
Yeah.
really comfortable with this girl. I
Well,
didn't
and
have
that's a
like an
good
ego.
sign. Like you like respected her and you asked her for help. Like I think a lot of women in New York have big personalities, and I think what they do a lot is like they solicit their advice.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I think yeah.
Does that make sense? I don't know if that sentence really landed, but like they like without the guy asking them, they're like on the first date, they're like, "Let me solve your problems,"
Y-
and I don't think that's a good thing.
I think that's a thing. I think that's in general. That yeah, that could happen in a lot of
Mhm.
things. But no,
Mhm.
she never gave. I always, but
You
I
were
know
asking her.
I was
Yeah.
asking, and I never used to do that because I would always try to.
Mm.
Like, I don't want to act like I need help. Like, but I was
Oh,
honest. I'm like, hey, like
yeah.
I like, what do you think
I
here?
love that.
And yeah, and it
Mhm.
was again like just organically I was doing that,
Mhm.
and then I'm like, wow, like this is like my whole life is improving around this
This
person,
relationship.
and it just had yeah, there was never, and it's the opposite. Like like we got an email recently about maybe doing like some shows in Australia for like
Okay.
we'd be there for a while, and I'm like, oh, but it'll. She's like, no, like that's good for you. Like go do like yeah,
Oh,
it's like supportive. Just there's no problem.
that's like the type of partner you want. You want somebody who's gonna be like, no, go forward, like prosper.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
There's
Mhm.
so much more to a whole thing than just like, you and it's like you have a life,
Yeah.
and even when you're living with someone and with them, like
Mhm.
it's still that's separate from your whole being. And like you
Yeah.
want someone that, you know,
Who propels you forward and wants to grow together and doesn't want to hold you back or possess you. Yeah.
exactly. And yeah, to go back to the question, it hasn't been since updating, since it started, it's just been like it's never been a thought because
Mm.
I would yeah, it just been like simultaneously happening, and I'm just like it's never there's just support. So it's
Yeah.
not like wow, like this thing's gotten big. Now like this is different. It's only
Yeah.
been the same. Like we have the same exact dynamic.
And you just seem like really put together and non slimy Because there's a lot of comedians who like travel all the time, do shows on the road, and they're like just like so suspect.
And that is a thing, and I have
Mhm.
and part of my anxiety type of thing, I'm one of those people that feels really disgusting and weird, and like
Yeah.
I really couldn't
Mhm.
like wait. It's weird to wake up and like I'm like, oh, like I'm in a random place. Like I'm
Yeah.
very much like with that stuff. I don't like that. Like I like my
Mhm.
I just like my personal stuff, and then I
Yep.
like work.
Yep.
I do not like and Harrison you know, to speak from with him, he really wants like a partner. He'll always talk
Yeah.
about it. He doesn't like that stuff either.
Yeah.
We're both very much not like
You're top-notch guys. Like
not re-
you're not
no, no.
okay, I don't want to call you wholesome because I know you're not fucking wholesome because you have like a very sex positive show. You
Yeah.
poke the bear, but like you guys are, I guess, maybe grounded. Is that
I
the
guess
word? I don't know what the word is.
yeah, I guess grounded. I guess
Yeah.
just like don't want I think we see the we I think the one thing him and me do, I
Yeah.
guess one thing we have in common is like there's certain things from life that we
Mhm.
see like the pros with like that life, and like if you have consistent friends and someone you're with
Mm.
really beats like hooking up with like random people. I would get like depressed like with
Oh, really?
I don't like yeah
You
like
don't like hookup culture
I won't say I don't like I think
for
it's great.
yourself.
Yeah, I know. I there was times where I did
Okay.
like, and I think it's cool, but like
Yeah.
not. I don't know. I just like I like a partner,
You
but I
want to build something.
yeah. But there's people that don't like, and it works really well. Like I have friends that that were like, are like, yeah, I
Mhm.
probably want to be single to like 40 or 50, and they're really happy and they're really put together, and it works,
True. And
which is
by the
cool.
way, I just think it's a personal decision.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to tell anyone how to live. Like,
No,
do your thing.
I
Yeah.
actually said I think if I didn't meet Mel, I maybe would have been one of those. I was in no rush to meet someone. I would have been single till like
Okay.
35. If my whole thing was like I just have to be with the right like I'm never
Person.
going to look for someone.
So that's the question that one of my followers asked was, did you get in a relationship because you were looking for a relationship, or did you get in a relationship because it was the correct person?
A correct person. I mean, you heard the
Yeah.
story. I like
Yeah.
pointed to a photo. Like I wasn't on like swipe it like looking for I point and it just literally wasn't a thought. It happened.
Okay. Were you ever on the dating apps?
I was on Hinge for a little while,
Yep.
and I went on a spurt. There was a spurt like in like a few months before,
Mm.
I met Mel where I was like doing like 3 dates a week, and
Oh,
I
that's intense.
not as much as what
28 dates in 28 days.
no
Yeah, that's a little different.
no, but it was a weird time. It was like
Yeah.
2020. It was a weird time, and I was going on a lot of dates, and I remember I hit a certain I'm like, I hate this. And I stopped. I got rid of
You were burned out.
I go, this is so depressing. No one like this
No
vibe.
one likes me?
Not that, but like just like I'm like I that feeling the next day where I'm like, oh, was that person into me? Even if I wasn't into
Yeah.
them, I'm like, dude, are they into me? Like it was so yeah, I deleted my like
Mm.
apps and stuff, and then
Yeah.
like yeah, I would like meet people organically, randomly go on dating, but wasn't really dating. I didn't really
Okay.
care.
So what do you think most women get wrong in dating?
I kind of think what we were touching on. I think
Yeah.
it's everyone. I think people like think like so like they overthink what people are actually thinking. Like
Okay. Everyone's in their heads.
everyone's in their
Yeah.
heads. I think like
Mm.
people I also think what people get wrong. I have an answer, and this goes for guys too.
Mm.
People have these written out like I want
Mm.
this. Like you will 1000% end up unhappy if you meet a person that met what you're looking for on paper.
Oh,
Like I don't think
interesting.
that has anything to do with
With
like
happiness
no.
or yeah. No, I
No,
actually love that.
has nothing to do with it. It's just got to be organic, like or
Yep.
organic. And I do think like it is. I think looks too. People like you,
Looks.
I think people sometimes don't realize what they're actually even attracted to, but they just think on
Totally.
paper.
Yeah. And I think the dating apps I think are like a little bit superficial because these are complete strangers.
Yeah,
And so like your metrics are super like around the physical, the job, all of that because it's like you have nothing else to go off of.
it's tough. You
Yeah.
can't smell someone through an app. Yeah,
Exactly. Like
which would be sick.
if you could invent that, like maybe that would help, but I'm kind of disgusted by the thought of that.
Yeah, that would be
Like
weird.
smelling through, like ew, I don't want to do
That would
that.
see the pheromones. No, that's but
Yeah.
I think though that is the
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm.
I think that actual chemical like vibe
Yeah.
with someone is
Yep.
like the number one thing, but that's overlooked the most.
Yeah, because people get in their heads and they think about like what's the Instagram picture going to look like?
What's
What's like all those other
What?
things.
Yeah, like I want kids by this age. I want to do this
Mm.
with this. I want him to have like this job. I want her to have. I'm like, who gives a shit? Like,
For me, I
I
don't
don't
really care. I just want to have fun. I want to have a good life.
fun. Yeah,
Mhm.
and just like
Yeah.
and yeah, again, like you want the life needs to just be. You need that thing I was saying, like when before you go on stage, where you're just like, I don't really like it's silly.
The flow thing.
The flow thing,
Yeah.
yeah. You need to
Yep.
just be loose and yeah, people, yeah. Most people I see though, like I'm around people too, like
Mhm.
who are in pretty happy relationships. Like my friends are Harrison and me have all the same friends.
Oh, okay.
Like we have
Yep.
like this posse who are all very similar people. Like
Really?
yeah, so it's like you know.
What's the makeup of the posse?
I have like my good friends from like Long Island,
Oh,
like
cute. That's
yeah,
adorable.
yeah, these like Long Island guys, and then Harrison has like his good friends from where he's from, and then like some of his good friends from college. Like
Mhm.
our agent is like our best friend. Like our whole thing is
Oh
like
my god.
we're fully in house. Like everything we do is like in house.
That sounds like a party.
Yeah, it's
It
fun.
sounds like really good vibes.
It's fun. It's fun vibes.
Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about this because I have a few things I want to talk about. First of all, you're part of a duo. So duos can be tricky
Yeah,
because like a lot of them break up over time.
yeah,
Like the Jonas Brothers, that's obviously not a duo, it's a
yeah,
trio, but same. Or like Call Her Daddy, like where these people were best friends.
yeah.
So, do you feel like why do you think duos break up?
I think, well, the obvious thing, like
Mm,
call her daddy, like money.
yeah.
That's like, I think one of the big ones. And then number two, like ego. And then number three, people think they're capable of things that they're, in some cases, yes, like
Mhm.
Justin Timberlake, it worked for.
Yeah, yeah.
But then in many cases, no. Like,
Yep.
I also think people don't realize how hard it is to get something that's working.
Yeah.
It's really difficult.
It's lightning in a bottle, to be
It's
honest.
like, and I think
Yeah.
Harrison and me both are very aware, like
Yes.
how we both worked, like we're still not nearly where we want to be. Like it's very hard to a
Mhm.
get to that point where you could keep doing it, but b to keep working. Like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, no, you guys have a good thing going. I'm not worried about you guys breaking up, but I was wondering if you had any hot takes on that because obviously, like, I just started a company and there's a duo involved, but I just feel like I get so much more done. I get so much further because I have a team of people around me and, like, there's like energy involved. And it's
yeah.
not just like the Marin Haugo show. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I can share some of that spotlight and that fortune, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think also it depends, right? Like I don't really care for that kind of spotlight. I don't need to
Mm,
be. I love the idea of like a thing around you that like
yeah.
it's almost more creative because it's less full. I don't like if you're like a like look at the like music artists. Like one day you're huge, and then one day it's like your name is just like that
You
sucks.
just fall, your star falls.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
also just think like if you like what you do, right? It
Mhm.
does none of that matters. I love
Right.
what I like the whole package of what I'm doing. So that stuff
Mhm.
doesn't I don't think about it. If you don't like the thing you're doing, your brain will go there.
And it's more about the experience, right? It's more about the process, and that's what's going to create the momentum. And if you hate the process, then yeah,
Exactly. It's
yeah,
fun. Exactly. I enjoy
you're
the
having fun.
exactly. I
Yeah,
literally enjoy the process more than
yeah,
like the result. Because then
totally.
once you get the result, then you're like, all right, what am I gonna do? You're like, people don't realize like with stuff like there's however many hours you're working 40
Hmm.
hours in a week. Like you have to
Yep.
enjoy if and look, I know so many people. It's really hard out there. Like most people don't like
Hmm.
what they're they
Doing.
yeah, I had a job for 5 6 years. Like it's and it was interesting because it made me work harder on updating because I'm like, oh, I want to make that the thing.
Yep.
But now it's like, all right, these hours during the day, I want to like what I'm doing and have fun.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
way more important. That's your life. That's at the end of the day, you die. Like like you're doing
That's
that.
true. I mean, like that's very existential, but you want to enjoy the ride because like the result is fleeting. And I think, yeah, when you enjoy the people around you, you're going to go further. Also, for me, I'm motivated by like producing for the people around me.
Yeah,
So I want us to all be successful.
fun.
And it, like, yeah, it motivates me.
That's a good. That's the
Hmm.
attitude. That's like
Hmm.
exact attitude I have.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so zooming out, what kind of woman do you envision Harrison being with? Because
Oh,
I've
that's
been
a good.
trying to set him up. Like I'm like trying to help him.
Oh, I
I
love
don't think
that.
he's a lost cause, by the way. I think he's
No.
very, very like he's has such a good head on his shoulders. He's not gonna have trouble. But as his bestie, one of his best friends,
Yeah.
what do you envision for him?
It's a good question. I think there's something right for him and then maybe something then that he wants, but I think he's getting
Mm,
to a point where he knows I think he wants the right thing.
yeah.
I don't It's a good question. The kind of person I think you would be. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I was like, no.
I'm joking. No, I'm joking.
We're
Well,
friends.
yeah,
Yeah.
no. I'm joking. I don't know. I don't have a. I mean, maybe a celebrity example is a
Yeah.
better way to do it because then
Let's
you
do
can
that.
understand visual. I'm trying to think of like who would he be good with. He'd be good with the girl from Big Daddy. The girl, like
Big Daddy.
the movie Big Daddy, like
Oh,
the
I can't
girl
even
he
think.
falls in love with. That's a good like kind of girl for
Okay.
Harrison.
Any other analogies? Because I'm blanking out on who
Yeah,
that
the
girl is.
blonde girl in that is like a good like that vibe I see him with. Who's another analogy for Harrison that I could think of? Maybe that's the best one. Like I really
Okay,
do. I
I'll
don't know
watch
her
Big
name.
Daddy.
Yeah, I don't know her name. But that girl would be great with him or like maybe like wait, what have I watched recently? Like the girl from who from White Lotus?
Sydney Sweeney.
No, not Sydney Sweeney. The
What if
girl.
we like accidentally manifest Harrison like marrying Sydney
If he
Sweeney?
got
Like I would
that,
love that for him.
I mean, everything's possible.
Anything is possible. I know that.
Yeah, no, I don't know. That would be. I really do think the girl from Big Daddy's the
Okay,
type. So
okay.
that is, yeah.
That's it. Okay. So where do you think you're gonna be with updating in a year?
Just I think it's a similar on the just growing the road.
Okay.
I
So
want to.
more road travel and like
Yeah.
live shows all over.
Yeah, theaters.
Yeah.
I want to just get to bigger rooms.
Mhm.
And obviously it's a continuation of building. Like we started with clips. Now we have longer form on
Mhm.
YouTube. We're building out like a library, which is
Yep.
really important to me. I want to keep building out the like sort of the, it's a canvas, and I just want to keep. I
Mhm.
really look at it show by show. I'm obsessed with like every single show individually. It's
Mhm.
like it's like if you're a music artist, we just there's a song you get to put out each week, or a couple
Yeah.
songs,
Mhm.
and some I don't, and that's what's great. As we keep going, there are shows we will do next week that I dislike even more than way in the beginning. But then there's
Okay.
ones where you leave and you're like, this was the best show.
What have you learned about rejection though from the show?
It's a great it's funny. What I've learned from the show, and at least from what I've seen, and obviously the daters, I think they're different than like maybe
Mhm.
the way I am. People are not that on our show, and I've spoken to people after that have
Mhm.
gone through tough rejections. We had a show in Detroit where it was a tough one.
Really? What happened?
Yeah, at the end, the guy, he just like they both agreed they were into each other. The blindfolds came off.
Mhm.
She's like, I'm so into him, and then he was just like, nah. It was I'm like, "Oh," and I gave the girl a hug after, and she was like, "I don't care." And we went out later that night, and like but I could think of a lot of examples on both sides too. Like there was a guy recently that really, I mean, the show you were at, the guy got rejected
Yeah.
pretty badly. They're not. I don't take. I take it really, or did, and just in general in life, I get very emotionally upset.
Yeah.
Like I don't
Yeah.
take rejection.
Well.
Even
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, there's periods, and forget about dating, just where I'll have weeks where there's at least one or two things a day that like aren't happening, and like,
Hmm.
which I've gotten like because it's so frequent, it's like
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm used to it. But like with dating, like I never found it easier. I'm like, oh, this actually is getting harder, and I'm
Yeah.
more. That's just how I do it. But I've noticed people on our show are like really cool about it for the most part.
Yeah, I think that maybe they're just like more confident or maybe they're fronting. Because I think it's almost like a defense mechanism where you're like, oh yeah, I don't care. It's fine. And
It
then
sucks.
inside you're just like, fuck.
It sucks, but dude,
Hmm.
yeah, but anyone that's willing to do a show like Updating is confident.
True.
Like they're like
Yeah.
willing to do that. I believe they probably don't care.
They
Like they're
probably
yeah.
don't. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it takes a certain level of confidence to even get on that stage. Like
Yeah.
you're putting yourself out there majorly.
Dude, it is.
Yeah.
I always now on casting calls, I will say like 5 times before I go, you're sure you're good? Like we can't control people on the internet that comment on our stuff.
Yeah.
Like we can't control what happens on the show. Like you're okay with this. You're okay with
Hmm.
this. There people are like they know what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah.
So I think that also it's a show, right? So I think they have that barricade of like this is like I agreed to do this. I'm
Yeah.
you know
And it's good that you really get that consent.
yeah, you want to make sure people
Yeah.
and look, I'm sure there's people that have done it that are like, wow, maybe that wasn't right for me. It's just an
Yeah.
experience.
It is what it is. Okay, so I have a game called Ick or Lick.
Yeah.
If you like it, you lick it. If you hate it, you ick it.
If I like it, I lick it. Okay.
Yeah. So the first one is Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Ick.
Really?
I'm just like,
Why?
I don't know, man. Like enough of I just like, and I like Taylor Swift. My girlfriend's a huge fan. I
Okay.
love. It's like kind of enough already with her. Like
Mm,
and like the date. I don't really care.
you
Like
don't care.
it's not even the ick. I just don't really care about
What
them.
freaks me out about her is that like every time she's spotted at a restaurant, people swarm it. I think that's really bizarre.
Yeah, and she said she likes it too. Like
She said that?
or maybe I've seen clips pop up on like my TikTok, like
Mm,
which was cool. Years ago, she's like, "Hey, I chose to do this.
okay.
I've accepted it." But it seems like she's really like, I don't know, just like I would not, I do it. It's a lot. Like, and I just think we hear
Yeah.
it's like there's a lot going on in the world. I think we could calm down with like
Oh,
her
true.
dating and stuff. I don't know. I'm a huge. I think her music is actually incredible.
Yeah.
I think, and I think she's hit this peak of success. Like,
Mm,
I don't know. I don't really care about you're dating this
yeah.
football player. Like, I don't really like he's, you know.
Yeah. To me, I just like I think for me it's a lick in that he's taller than her and
Yeah, because she's really tall.
she's
Yeah,
really tall. And I feel like
yeah.
she's like physically met a guy that could be actually a really good match for her.
They look good. So
Yeah,
here's the
they do
thing.
look good together.
From that, I spoke from like a perspective of like, well, I'm on my phone. I didn't ask to see any of it.
Right,
Why is
right,
this
right.
popping up every second?
Mm-hmm.
They look great. They look very good together.
Yeah.
They'd have children.
They'd have like giraffes as children. It would be beautiful.
Yeah, and also if they're in love, I support. I think that's awesome. If they're, I have nothing, any couple anywhere,
Yeah.
famous or not famous. If people are actually happy, I support that.
Then you're happy.
Yeah.
Okay, Pete Davidson.
Lick. I love Pete Davidson.
Okay, I also like. How about Howard Stern? Because I think that
Lick.
you guys remind me of Howard Stern.
Yeah, that's my influence.
Yep.
I think he's the best interviewer in existence, and podcasting reality
Mhm.
wouldn't exist without him. He literally pioneered that, and he gets no credit for it.
Oh,
Like
really?
he's the first person to ever on a radio like start talking. Like he was like it was just music. DJs would
Oh,
play music,
really?
and then that guy he basically created like media,
Like talk radio.
talk radio, and also like reality. Like I think like the Osbournes, they would
Mm,
come on his show, and this is like the 80s. Like he's like, you guys need a reality show. People are like, what's that? Like you should just be filmed. And then that ended up, I guess it did end up happening for them. Like that guy just gets all the stuff we're trying to do, and like create reality. I'm just
mm.
like, this guy has literally, like anyone that attempts something, this guy pioneered
It stems
everything.
from him.
That's why I love that what we're doing is in front of an audience. It's kind of the first of its kind
Yeah.
in front of an audience. Like
Mhm.
that guy just is so original. And now, it's so look at where things have gone. Like
Yeah.
so yeah, I respect anyone that's like pioneered stuff. And
Mhm.
yeah, I look up to like the way he's done stuff. But yeah, he's a good guy.
That's great.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool. Okay, now we're gonna play Liquor Ick updating edition. And I watched a few of your clips
Yeah.
before this interview, and I pulled things that people have said or whatever, and I
Yeah.
want to know if it's a liquor and ick for you
Yeah.
personally. Okay, the first one is spitting in someone's mouth.
I think it's cool. Like if you're into it, like lick. I don't
Mhm.
maybe on our show I didn't really think that was gonna happen. Like I don't
And it happened on your show.
Yeah, I don't think that I got nothing. They both consented to it.
By the way, I gagged at the end of the video.
Yeah, it was a little
It was a little
it was a
intense.
lot.
That's like for the privacy of your bedroom, I think. If you want to do the spitting thing.
Yeah, they both wanted to do it. That guy's really a nice guy too. I talked to him after the show. She had fun.
Did they date?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know. I actually don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's fine. I'm gonna say like lick. That's cool if they enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're very sex positive too.
Yeah. Why
For
not?
me, spitting in the mouth is an ick.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't want a guy to spit in my mouth.
I get that. Yeah. I could see. I don't really. It wasn't really doing anything for me. Like I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah. I got nothing against it. If someone was like, hey, like
Maybe if it's the love of my life and the pheromones are like 100% amazing, then we'll talk.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
It's not seeking that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not seeking spitting, but some people just like things.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one. Okay, again, this is pulled from your show. Anal on the first date.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that girl in the crowd. Again, I haven't been that's not happened for me. I would say that's cool. I would say that's slick. If someone does it,
Yeah.
that's very cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, again, that's probably an ick
Yeah.
personally.
Okay. I think
Okay.
it's all. If someone does, I think it's kind of like gnarly. It's like fun. Yeah.
I mean, you would do it on a first date.
It's never it has never I never happened. I
Okay.
probably would like I wouldn't like cuz I just wouldn't bring it up. It wouldn't come.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably not.
Dating a virgin.
At what age?
Our age. You're 29. I'm 31.
I probably wouldn't want to. So
Okay.
yeah, for me I would be an ick.
Okay. For me, it would probably be an ick. Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing against it, but for me it's like I need someone to teach me.
Right.
Yeah.
I need somebody with some good experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Dating someone who has never been in a relationship.
That's fine.
Okay, so that's a lick
Yeah.
for you.
Look, that's fine. So many people
Yeah.
so many people I know have not.
For me, I would want to know why because like what if he has major like commitment issues?
Yeah.
Then I probably wouldn't date him. But if he was just like if he had an amazing reason, I'm gonna say ick.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't date
Yeah.
someone who hadn't been in a relationship unless it was like he just like couldn't get in one.
Yeah.
That's okay then.
I'm okay with that one.
But if he was just like I never valued it, like la la la,
I see what you mean. I could see that.
because it's like then do you even value relationships?
Yeah, they may not like that. Or yeah.
I don't know. I'm really torn on it because I know that some listeners haven't ever been in a serious relationship, and I
Yeah.
think that's more and more common.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I
And
really
I think it's fine too.
yeah, I don't it depends, right? Like I mean I'm 29, like I think a lot of people's first relationships are like
Mhm.
their late 20s. I know so many
Yeah.
people where their first serious one.
Is late 20s
Yeah,
or early 30s.
I'm okay with that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I would. It's individual, case by case.
Yeah.
Okay. The woman being taller than you.
That's fine.
Okay, so
Lick.
because I know your girlfriend's way shorter than
She's way shorter, but I've dated girls
you. Who are
taller.
taller.
I never
And
cared.
you never cared.
Never cared.
Okay.
No.
So we'll say a man who's shorter than me. I would say like that's fine.
Yeah, oh
I
really? That's
I really
cool.
don't care. So like for me, I've dated guys my height, and like I kind of like when I'm wearing my heels if I'm like a little bit taller than the guy
Yeah.
because I'm like I feel
You're tall though.
no, I'm 5'6".
Oh, I thought you were like 5'9". Oh, maybe it's like
I wear heels.
yeah, I see.
So I'm like
I
5'9"
see.
in heels maybe, but like the thing
Yeah.
is like I don't mind just being like slightly taller. It just depends on the guy. He has to have BDE though.
Yeah, the vibe.
Yeah, like if he's like confident, great. But if he's like a little like shell of a man, then like of course not.
Yeah, confidence
Yeah.
is height. That gives you height.
That is
like
height.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's a good way to look at
But
that.
I've also dated men who are very tall but not confident.
Yeah, I
That's
know some
so
tall
gross,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah, height has nothing to do with what's inside someone's head. It has
So
nothing
true.
to yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Dating your friend's ex.
Ick, I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do it either. What about dating somebody who went on one date with your friend?
That's fine.
That's fine.
I think so. I don't think that's ever been a case with any of my.
Have you ever kissed the same girl as a friend?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
and it's not like a big issue.
Nah. I
Okay.
think so. I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything specific, but yeah, I don't think that matters. I
Okay.
think that's fine.
Splitting the check on a date.
Ick.
Ick.
I like paying because also it's a comfort thing. I know I could be like beyond like like whatever the guy pays. I know like I could be looser. I could order more. I could do whatever. I like that. Like just doing. I like paying for
It's
the
part
check.
of okay.
Even with friends, sometimes I'm like, I just a bet. It's just sometimes like if you want to go out and have fun, I
Mhm.
mentally like oh I could do whatever. I don't have to like awkwardly send someone a Venmo or and like I also feel very guilty if I
Yeah.
get more than someone.
Okay.
So if I go, yeah, I like with check stuff, it's really
Covering
uncomfortable.
the check.
I like covering.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like awkward.
Yeah. So we talked about this on my Instagram story the other day where it was like, should the girl offer or should she just not say anything? What do you prefer?
People always off. People should always offer.
You think always offer?
Yeah, the same way you hold the door. You don't have to. It doesn't have to. I think it's a nice thing. I like just like maybe act like you're going for your card. Actually, all right. I'm
It
not.
feels so fake to me when I'm
No.
doing it because I'm like
I'm not.
so slow.
I take that back because I think the offer or just really like appreciative is cool. Like that tells you manners. Like tell you kind of everything.
Yeah,
about
I have
someone.
really good manners.
That's good.
And
You've
by
seen
the-
it. Yeah.
And by the way, like I would be very appreciative, and if the guy was like, "Hey, by the way, like I can't cover this," like I would cover it. Like,
Oh, it'd be
you know
tough.
what I mean?
I would feel bad. Yeah.
I would feel bad. Like I would never like curse him out or like be a freak. But
Yeah.
in general, I would like I don't want to go on a date with a guy who doesn't want to pay for me.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think it's a tough.
Because he chose a restaurant.
Yeah, no, that's all. I think it's kind of really weird
So
to.
don't choose something like I'll go for a
So you've
coffee.
been on. Wait, so you've been on dates where the.
So I went on a date recently, like, well, this past summer, where I was on a date with this guy, and he was like, I was like, oh, do you want to split it? Because I was trying to be polite, and he was like, oh, if you want to.
Oh, that's tough.
It was tough, and then he continued to try to like see me, and I was, I take that as
Oh,
like the guy's not interested if he says yes,
oh, I would
but then
even on the worst dates I've covered.
yeah,
Like
it
it
was
just
pretty
feels.
rough.
Oh, I'm sorry. That guy,
No,
man.
but I'm
What
not.
was the bill?
It was, well, I didn't pay because I just said I can't find my card, which
Oh,
was sketchy.
yeah.
But I just didn't think he was gonna say yes because the whole date was like flexing on me, being like, I make so much money.
Oh God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, then that's the worst kind of
Yeah.
thing.
So like,
Yeah.
why are you flexing on me the whole date? And then he also was talking to me about my company, and he was like, if you want to give me a percentage of it for
Oh
like
my
my
God.
consulting, because he like
Sounds like you met this guy. Was like a
it was
Staten
a
Island,
scammer.
Long Island guy.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like a scammer.
Yeah. Like.
And so then I wanted to scam him back because I was like, oh, you've just been like
Yeah.
hustling me this whole date, and that's where I got like a little.
Yeah.
skinny.
That's a shitty date.
That was
Yeah.
a really shady date.
That's shitty. That's
Okay,
shitty.
last one, peeing in the mouth.
No. Yeah. Ick. I have absolutely no desire.
Same.
No.
No pee on the mouth, on the body. I just like don't need the pee.
No. No. Not for me.
But if you like it, fine. Go find
Yeah.
someone else who loves it too.
I look there. The more especially with our show, the more we do, the more I find out things people like to do. So
Well, and you bring it out of them.
Yeah. It's definitely Everyone has their own thing.
Everyone does. So before we go, can you please give everyone your biggest piece of relationship or dating advice?
Wow. The advice is I don't have any. No. It would just be like don't think
Yeah.
like just like if you like just do your day to day like
Mhm.
you'll like and you don't overthink.
Okay. Don't overthink.
Yeah, just don't force it. Don't
Okay.
I don't believe in like the checklist shit.
Okay, but do you believe in like date them till you hate them?
No, I think just go hang out with people you like. Like I think that's
Really?
yeah, yeah. I'm firm. I
I'm always telling my clients like, "Oh, keep going, keep going, keep going," and they're like, "I don't know."
I think yeah, I think if you're on the fence, like just don't do.
Really?
Yeah, and I think you could be nice to I think people hate like that awkward like you could just like end something with someone and say, "Hey, like meet all my friends, like let's all hang out." Like we don't you could there's a way to really like there's a way to break up your life properly. Like you don't have to you could go on dates and become Harrison becomes he's become really good friends with some people he's like gone on dates with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he actually made me realize like that's a cool thing. Like
Yeah.
he was doing that years ago and like when I was single, I'm like, "Oh, that's cool how Harrison like this girl coming out with us like he went on dates with this girl and like and now we're all friends."
I feel like that's kind of my vibe now too.
It's cool. That's
It's weird, but it's cool. Like, cause I'm cool with it.
I think
Yeah.
I see that's cool. And that would actually be my advice. Like hang out with like go out and like date, like try to just make friends with people and like life will work itself out.
Yeah, I actually
Yeah.
think that's really good advice. So where can people find you? Plug yourself, please.
Yeah, I mean, updating. You could find wherever we do a show. If you want to hang out, like I'll be there. And then like you can find me on Instagram. My handle is Bermy16. Yeah,
You're like,
yeah, I forgot
what
for a
is
sec.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, you could DM me whenever. Like, but yeah, I'm always hanging around. I'm with like I'm always with like Harrison and all our
Mhm.
friends. Like,
Yeah.
people could always hang out with us.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we're trying to grow
They're
our
just a bunch
friends.
of great guys. Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to grow our friends. So if anyone wants to hang out, we're always looking.
That's amazing. Okay, guys, go follow him if they want to be on the show too.
Yeah, if you want to be on the show, apply on our website, updatingshow.com like /casting. Or actually the best way is to DM personally.
Okay.
If someone personally DMs me about casting, like that's like the best way to that's the best way to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, Marin.
Yeah, of course. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks again to our sponsor, First Rounds on Me. If you're tired of endless small talk with an overwhelming number of pen pals, go download First Rounds on Me now and get yourself a real date.